Hey, what's up, guys? You already know it's your girl Shay in the building coming through with another episode about life, pretty much. Yo, it's like unreal the support that I've been receiving for the past 2 weeks. I really love you guys for just rocking with me, paying attention to my podcast, searching me up on Spotify, and just basically like just hearing me out. 936 impressions is wow. That means y'all really was like looking for me. I said this a numbers time and time again. At first it was at 3, then it was at 6, now it's at 9. So it's like tripled in the past 2 weeks. So I'm like, yo, that's what's up. Like, y'all really rocks with me. That's what's up. Anyway, I hope that I keep growing. I hope I'm inspiring somebody. Probably even to want to do their own podcast or whatever. I don't know. Who knows? At this moment in time, I'm just enjoying, every bit of it where I could basically come over here and express myself. You feel me? I might sound a little faint. I might sound too close, and it might sound like an echo because I'm in a tub. That's how I started, and that's how I'm going to continue. If I'm not in the car, I'm doing this. Okay? Listen, the topic at hand is basically growing up in poverty, right? And this topic stems from the situation with King and his father, T.I. Now, those who don't know who King is, he's one of T.I. and Tiny's sons. I think it's like 7 of them. I'm not. I think it's about like 6 or 7 of them that T.I. and Tiny have amongst each other. Even though she's not the mother biologically to the other kids. I think it's like 3. Damani, T.I.'s oldest son that looks just like him, and his daughter. Yeah. And then she has one of her own. Either way it goes, I think it's about like 7 of them. Either way it goes, King is the spoiled one. Okay, if you ever watched the T.I. and Tiny Grand Hustle or whatever it was, Hustle Family Hustle. Oh no, Family Hustle. Growing up, like you would see him being the different one, the spoiled one, the always complaining one, all kinds of shit, He done grew up and became this big spoiled brat, thinking he's privileged and that he's entitled, thinking he's supposed to get everything or whatever the case may be. He don't know what a hustle is, but he be trying to rap like he do. And like, he don't understand how it is, like, about grinding and, basically getting it out of the mud. He don't understand that. I don't know where this kid come from, mentally. It's like, how? Like, well, behind the scenes, you will never know what's going on behind the scenes until somebody has to speak on it. But when you see it on TV, things just become, you're like, oh, okay, you see their lives through TV. They'll be like, say, cut the camera, this and that, blah, 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 or whatever. So because they don't want certain things to be aired. But this family, thus far since I've been watching them, they was like, raw, even though they did kind of live certain, you get a little money, you get a little rich or whatever. You want them your kids to have the best things and stuff. And that, like, goes to show, like, okay, you want to make sure your kids is not growing up the way you did. That's basically what that is. But King, on the other hand, he just feel like he putting it out there like his parents really ain't do shit for him. That he basically lived with his grandmother. Because I seen the Funny Marco show, if you ain't see it, where he went up there. He was like, oh, behind the scenes, I was going over there to my grandmother's house. I wasn't with them. I ain't live with them and stuff like that. And come to find out, in this new recording, his moms put it out there. Yeah, you went over to your grandmother's house almost every day because you kept complaining and crying, and you will hold your breath to the point where you get red and stuff, and we just take you over there. Like, that's sad, right? You portray to make it seem like you live this a hostile lifestyle or some shit like that, or you live a life where you experience so much and stuff. Kids today, kids is like, and I ain't gonna say all kids because My kids is different. Like, I got 3 kids of my own, and I pray to God they never come out their mouth and say I wasn't shit, or that they live a certain kind of lifestyle or whatever. I barely let them experience the shit that I went through, and I'm gonna get into that stuff that I went through after I talk about King and his dad, his other siblings. Now, what's crazy is you're the only one out of all your siblings complaining about how you live and what went on. Now, you and your little baby brother went to your grandmother's house. Okay, first, what I'm understanding. But you're the only one complaining about the situation at hand. What was they supposed to do? You going to keep constantly crying? What, they going to keep whooping your ass? All right, and the grandmother's okay with you going over there? Okay, cool. But don't make it seem like you was forced to go over there. You put that out there. You wanted to go to your grandmother's house, and you went over your grandmother's house because your grandmother spoiled your ass, and that is the issue today. That's why you are the way you are, because you was over there getting spoiled to death over there. Don't know why. Don't know the real issues over there. And as far as my understanding, your uncle lived over there, and some other people was, staying over there, but they wasn't on camera. Don't do it to yourself. Why would you even put yourself out there, making it seem like you was raised wrong, like you was raised differently from the rest of the crew? Like, I hate children that be trying to get so much fucking attention from everybody. And I pray my son is not like that, because I'm going to get into that too. He is something else. Like, he's getting to the point where he's starting to show off and starting to do things as if I'm overly doing something or whatever. And King, he's on the verge of, his father put his on him. Like, he tried to press his father. And I don't know how old King is, but the fact that he tried to stir up some trouble with his own dad, as if he got it like that, like he can just, you know what I mean, like he can just do that. Man, listen. I remember when I tried my mom's back in the day, and I was smelling my own ass and shit, being a hot girl, going outside thinking I could do whatever the fuck I want to do and shit, pressing my mother because I wanted, I was a spoiled motherfucker. I kid you not, I was spoiled as fuck, okay? Really, really fucking spoiled. And the fact that I put my mother through hell, I regret that shit. And my father told me that you're going to have double the trouble and a boy later. And sure enough, he did. I stopped the clock by getting me my 2 side baby bride, because I ain't trying to have no more kids. But yeah, he was right. Double the trouble and a boy later. The hell that I put my mother through, and now I'm going through it in like 3 different ways, okay? So... I regret the things that I did to my mom. Like, honestly, I was really, like, my mother never hit me, but it was this one time when she was about to stomp the fucking mud hole out my ass. Like, we were fighting and shit, and me, I felt guilty just even pushing her back, and I fucking fell, and when I fell, my mama's foot, ooh, I could see the sandal. I could see the hole underneath, like, on her flip-flop. Because she loved flip-flops, because her feet was always swollen. She couldn't wear no shoes or nothing. But, like, you can see the hole and the dust underneath, under her foot flip-flop that was going close to my face. And I'm like, okay. Like, I was scared as hell because my mother never hit me. I was pressing her that day, and I never pressed her ever again. I remember I think she almost called me a bitch. I remember that. And that's when I was just constantly just being, tough. Like, I thought I was like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought I was the shit. I thought I could just press my mother and stuff. My mother showed me. Hell no. But again, my lifestyle was like really, really, really crazy. And I'm not a king, okay? I'm not him. My lifestyle was fucked up. Okay? It was an on and off kind of thing. Living at my father's house for a short period of time, I experienced what it was like to be, like, family-oriented and stuff like that. It was clean. We ate every night. We went to school. We did what we were supposed to do. We basically cleaned up the house. We had chores. We had allowances. You know what I'm saying? We had the family structure at my father's house. Now, I could bring up some things as to why I didn't like my father, but that's a later time. I think I had already spoke on it or whatever. I need to write this stuff down so I could just not re-talk about it. But with my father, life was different over there or whatever. But I only had a short period of time. Living at my mom's house, that was the struggle. Like, we had to really, like, because I couldn't really put my finger on it, but I believe it's because my stepfather was on drugs real bad, and he was spending up all the money, cashing in the food stamps, and we I only could remember one time where I did not eat. I don't know, like what was like before 5 or whatever, but like that's the only time I can remember when I did not eat, and I was hungry as fuck. And they was like the food stamps didn't come on to the first, and it was the day before or whatever, and they basically went outside, doing whatever. I don't know what exactly they did, but they came home with a pack of hot dogs. Okay. And I was no longer hungry. That's how hungry I was. I was starving that day, and I was crying and everything. That's the only thing I can remember as far as going out food. Now, food quality, I can complain about that. We always had some fucked up kind of shit for dinner or whatever. My mother could cook, but if we didn't have certain things like bread, milk, and butter and stuff to make the food taste good, my mother made it work with whatever she could. Now, we always used to go to the bread line. I don't know if anybody know what a bread line is. It's basically a church or a service program where you can go there, you sign up for food, you get the food basket, and then you go about your merry day. You get it twice a week. So we basically did that 2 times a week faithfully every day, every week. So, it's a couple times we didn't do it because my mother didn't feel like walking down the street, walking all the way across town just to go get some goddamn food or whatever. They used to give us rolls. The rolls was good. We had butter. They used to give us big, thick-ass butters. So we had butter bread toasted. We used to have this big can of pork with the pig on it, the silver can. I don't know if anybody know what I'm talking about. These is welfare type shit. And we used to have this big ass block of cheese and shit. It was like the we had good stuff. And as a kid, until you experience other people's lives, I never knew what it was like outside of my house until I went to somebody else's house and I seen what they had. So during the times before that time, it was life for us, for real, on some real shit. Like, we had the applesauce. I could keep going on. We had cereal with no sugar. Like, we had all that kind of stuff. And with that being said, I just enjoyed. I enjoyed it at the time, having food from the bread line, until one day I went to my friend's house. They allowed me to stay the night. And growing up, I ain't have clean clothes and stuff like that. My mother had to wash my clothes by hand, and I had a bowel movement problem, y'all. Like, my shit was really bad, and she had to literally wash. She didn't have to, but she chose to wash it all by hand. And being that it was becoming like a problem for me, I don't know why I didn't get checked out. Like, I was talking about bowel, pee, vomiting. And maybe it was the house. I don't know, but I had an issue back then. I know I had leg real bad. Like, it was real high. I was in a magazine at one point. But, yeah. Like, it was like real bad. And like, my mom used to, like I said, she used to clean up my stuff. So some of the times I didn't have no clothes because she was just too tired. We had no soap, we had nothing for her to clean it and stuff like that. So this particular night, my mom's wound up having to clean clothes for school, a week in advance. So I had a nice little outfit. So I went to my friend's house that weekend, went to their house and seen what they had. They had Fruit Loops and, eggs and, butter and bacon, sausage. What's that like? Like, oh, this is a good meat. I'm like, yum, yum, yum. I'm seeing them mixing pancake mixes and shit. I'm asking questions, and they the mom looking at me all funny, like, you never had this before? Like, what's this? And I'm not going to say that my moms didn't really have it, because we used to, before the cards came out, we had the paper food stamps. Sometimes it got stolen. Sometimes, it was under the amount that it was supposed to be. So, we would go to the corner store. Never went to no damn supermarket like Pathmark, Murphy's until I got a little older and shit. And then, so I didn't really experience that stuff. So when I did have We did have stuff from the supermarket. It was like Christmas for us, for real, for me mainly. But when I went over to their house and stuff, they was just asking questions, and I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to answer certain questions. So I'm just like, no, we didn't have, or whatever. And then it just started feeling uncomfortable because it's like now here come another person asking me a question. Like, I didn't know nothing about CPS or anything like that. I'm just being a kid, I wasn't taught not to say nothing or nothing. Like, but nothing happened. They just was like more keen to like now. Okay, let me buy her some clothes. Let me get her some bubbles. Let me, they was being supportive. Let me, help you out with food or whatever. But yeah, that my stepfather, he had a drug problem. I couldn't keep nothing brand new. We couldn't, like I said, we couldn't keep no money in the house. The rent would get paid, but we couldn't keep no money in the house. We couldn't, I never experienced lights out, like the shut-off notice or anything like that. I guess my mother didn't play that shit. She made sure that bill was paid off. Paid. Okay. Yeah. We couldn't keep a TV. We couldn't keep nothing, really, because he was selling every damn thing. But I don't know why my mother at the time wouldn't leave him or whatever. Because it was just becoming a little bit too much. Like, all my rooms, every room I had, like, either my stepsister, who was a prostitute on his side, would use it for, her johns or whatever, or like he would use it for drugs where his friends would go. Shit. I don't know. I respected my stepfather, because he is the only one that really disciplined me. He kept me in line. Despite his drug habit, he was the one I would like go to, for anything. Even though broken promises is a lot of them, I respected him and loved him dearly. Like, I wish he was still here, because I'm quite sure he would have been off drugs by now. He's the one that was teaching me about boys. He was teaching me everything, like how a father's supposed to, or whatever. But like I said, once I experienced life outside of my house, it was over, because I come home like this is like a dungeon. Now you don't appreciate the things that you have inside, and now I'm pressing my mother like, hey, what's up? Like, why we don't have this? Why we don't have that? Why? And I guess that's the main reason why she never wanted me to go outside, because it took me a minute to get off that porch. I'm telling you, but yeah, I used to go to my aunt's house a lot too, and they used to have like a lot of stuff too. It just was different. I don't know, but speaking of, like different. I go to my friend's house, they don't have the problems that I have in my house. Okay, yeah, their parents, be on drugs, somebody's in the family on drugs or some shit like that. And I'm like family members to a lot of people, a lot of different families. They still consider me like cousin, sister, stuff like that, because of how much I used to go over there. But at my house, I used to have roaches, like a lot. It was bad. We had the little mice and stuff, They used to eat up on my candy. I'm like, I never understood it. But with that being said, here my son right now. I had roaches like real bad, and when I tell you roaches used to come in and just invade my food, like oh my god, it was so bad. We had the big ass cockroaches, the water bugs, and we had the little ones, and we had the little albino roaches, which I still don't understand how the fuck they was white the entire time. I even painted one with nail polish, and I seen that little motherfucker grow up with the polish, yo. And we was like buddies, bitch, like, yo. it became a real problem when my food, one day, I had a roach embedded in my food, and I accidentally ate it. Now, I know that sounds gross, like, ew, that shit was sweet. Oh, I could throw it right out. I don't play with roaches, bitch. I went to sleep one day, and like I'm dead ass sleep. I just feel something just crawling slowly all on my face, and I just couldn't take it no more. I just swiped that shit on my face, and it smeared. That shit was pregnant, and it smeared all on my face. I'm sorry I'm being graphic for anybody who's like ew, I'm not listening to her. No, please don't cringe. If you never had roaches, listen. God bless you, okay? But I did. I had roaches multiple times, okay? And we have to get bombed out. Like, it's bad. I had roaches. I had ants. I had motherfucking bed bugs. I had a lot going on. And then my last before last apartment, I had stink bugs. Now I'm like, damn, I'm all the way upstate New York, and here I am. This is the first time I moved up here. Here I am with some goddamn stink bugs. Them shit's like the new form of roaches. Like, that's how many we had. Like, I don't, like, it was hard to kill them. Like, like you kill them, they're supposed to stink, but I never really smelled them or whatever. It was something that did stink, but it was weird. Like, I'm like every time I turn around, there's always some infestation, whatever. Then we had moth, what is it, cloth like moth, some shit, bugs in PA. It was because of oatmeal we had in the cabinet. Now, do not leave your oatmeal in the cabinet past 2 months. They start growing some bullshit and shit. You do not need that. But I'm just giving you a spill of my life or whatever. So as my kids grow up, I try my hardest to make sure I have food in the table, the utilities paid, the rent paid. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, I did face eviction when I was living in Jersey. I fought that shit, and I went through it twice. They gave me a stimulus where I had to pay the balance. The second time, I was on some bullshit. I didn't pay the rent on purpose because I wanted my kid's father out of my house. But, you know, that was some dumb shit. I thought they was going to give me another one, but they didn't. So I had to pay $1,800 fast in 3 weeks, and I wound up doing it. I did it by myself because he was in jail, and I sold everything in my apartment. I sold plates. I was working hard. I did Uber, and I was working as a home healthy. So all of my money went straight to that, you know. So I really am from the hood, okay? Like, so I know the struggle, and I can keep going on and on and on. But to reflect, King is a spoiled minded brat. Like, it's not even a spoiled body, he's just spoiled for real. Because I don't even know who to blame, his grandmother or his fucking parents. Like, he's just a spoiled ass brat, and he gonna get himself killed now. And I don't wish that on nobody's kids, but the way he act like he's entitled, like he's supposed to get, supposed to receive. Like, that's not cool. You ain't supposed to treat your parents like shit and think like, oh, that life was supposed to revolve around you. You got, yeah, right. Please. Like I said, my kids ain't really experienced, but they did experience roaches and bed bugs. But, like, they really had to see it. When it came to the eviction, they didn't see that. They was at their grandmother's house for the summer. Because it happened over the summer. They didn't see that, so they never see the eviction notice. They never see the shut-off notice. They never been without food. You know, we always had some kind of food or whatever. Even if we was at our potluck days, I made that shit fucking work. Okay, so I'm always working. Like, it's always some type of income. Clothes on their back, we may have struggled with because, like, all right, I don't have Nike money or whatever. My daughter's working, so she get her own stuff. My son, on the other hand, it's a struggle with him. But at the meantime, excuse me, I'm getting a little sick. In the meantime, he's still not without. He got uniforms to go to school or whatever, you know. So at the end of the day, everybody has their own personal struggles. But King, I cannot see that. You spoiled by the little brat. Like, and we still elevating. We still doing our damn thing. So with that being said, like, know what is real and what is fake. Motherfuckers will portray to have a certain kind of lifestyle, and behind closed doors, it ain't what it seems. It ain't what it is. Like, at the end of the day, if you are struggling, don't try to be prideful and be on some shit like, oh, I got it, when you know you can't even get it. You have this thing where you don't want to do nobody's you don't want to receive support from anybody or whatever the case because you're prideful. Man, receive that. If they got something to say, don't use them ever again. It's as simple as that. I don't know. My son is bugging me for something. I have no idea. So that is my time. I can never have my time to myself. As soon as he hear my voice, now all of a sudden he want me. Oh. Anyway, fuck with your girl. Okay? Mm-hmm. I don't know what this world is coming to, but being independent and on your own and trying to survive is one thing. But when you have the spoon fed in your mouth and you still continuously get support, that's a whole nother thing when you crying wolf. I don't know. It's a Gemini's world, and you already know her name is Shay.